All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. In the world of academia, where integrity and merit should be sacrosanct, controversies surrounding qualifications can erode public trust, and this is the case with the sacked Vice-Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Unizik, Awka in Anambra State, Bernard Odo, whose professorship has been disowned by the Federal University Guzo in Zamfara State amidst allegations of fraud. The statement by the Federal University Guzo came after an internal review at Unizik that flagged irregularities in the former VC's academic credentials. Odo, who was removed after 3 weeks of appointment, claimed that he was promoted to the rank of full professorship of applied geophysics at the institution in 2015. Okay, Ade.
The controversial sack of the former Vice-Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Dr. Udo Ifeanyi, has taken a new dimension as authorities of the Federal University Gusau have denied appointing him as professor. Dr. Ifeanyi and the governing council of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University were sacked by President Bola Tinubu a few days ago over his unmerited appointment as Vice-Chancellor of the university. Dr. Udo had presented documents claiming that he was offered an appointment and confirmed as professor by the Federal University Gusau, a development that has sparked heated discussions at different levels. Now, the Vice-Chancellor of the Federal University Gusau at a press conference says the man in question has never thought nor appointed as professor in the university.
From available records, Dr. Odu Bernard Ifeanyi is not and has never been a tenured staff of the university, let alone being confirmed as a professor by the institution.
Professor Muazu, however, says the documents presented by Dr. Udo were fraudulently signed on November 8 this year by a former registrar of the university who was disengaged 6 years ago.
The so-called letters of offer of tenure of appointment as professor and confirmation of promotion to the post of professor dated 30th April 2015 and 12 November 2015 being paraded by Dr. Odu Bernard Ifeanyi are product of administrative fraud.
Authorities of the Federal University Gusau welcomed the decision of President Bola Tinubu and insist on taking action against the former registrar who illegally signed Dr. Udo's document 6 years after leaving the institution. Theophilus Darufai, TVC News Gusau.
All right, then let's bring this conversation home. Ade, the issue between the sacked VC and Federal University of Gusau on the issue of professorship. The question is, who is telling the truth here?
Well, first of all, I think corruption has crawled into the ivory towers, which is expected to be the starter of learning, the moral pathfinder for the society. I'm saying this not because of this case, because of precedents. We have had instances of many people coming up to say that they are professors, they are doctors, but actually they are not. So I think it raises a lot of questions about the moral decline in our society. In this case, I've read through the, contending arguments. But one thing that strikes me is this. The former registrar, Bawa Kaura, by the document presented by Professor Bernard, okay, the registrar of Federal University, Guzo, was no longer the registrar at the time, given the document that was purportedly signed by him.
He was not the registrar.
He was not the registrar at this time. Okay. He left in 2014, and then you are presenting a document that he signed in 2018. So I think there are a lot of questions. And for now, we can only take the words of the registrar of the current registrar.
The current registrar. Because who have the record.
Yes, Yakubu Aibas, who has said that this man was not a professor at the Federal University of the Federal University in Guzo, and that all those documents he presented were, a product of fraud. So I think that it should be a very straightforward matter. because the school authority is disclaiming your claims. Yeah. And of course, when you see the way the professor has been portraying his arguments, on the other hand, you said you are a professor, you are qualified, then you are also citing, intertribal sentiment that because you are removed, because you are from Ebonyi, and because, other people from Southeast see Ebonyi people as inferior, which I think is an argument that looks so weak to me.
Now, for you to be a professor, now for you to be a VC, you must be a professor for like how many years?
A certain period of years.
Period. And he actually did his in Federal University. So why is they denying that he didn't even work there?
No, he wasn't a professor. He said he was a visiting professor and later confirmed. But the registrar of that school has dismissed his claims that those things are not true. So for me, I think the federal government should investigate this matter very well. And we want to know who is actually telling lies. And I don't think we should allow this case to just go like that.
Exactly.
If it's the professor that is wrong, if you do this in other countries, even Ghana, you go to jail. So we don't just want this controversy to end on the newspapers. We need to do there should be a kind of follow-up mechanism to know who is actually telling lies. There's something hidden. But for me, I choose to believe the university because we have a registrar, we have a vice chancellor, and also there's an institution that is claiming that you are not part of them. So I think we need to probe further.
Mayor, who is telling the truth?
Of course, because with all respect to Bernardo, the former VC, it's just a fraud. And it's very clear. Why it's a fraud is because there is a law that says you have to be a professor to be a vice chancellor.
Exactly.
And it is being said that it's close to the pro-chancellor. And that is the pro-chancellor of that university that wants to force him on the community. Okay. Because when it was muted, the staff, the academic staff, complained and said, look, let us look at this thing properly. This man is not qualified. The man claimed he is a professor. The professor of university from Zamfara. Yes. The university came out to say, look, there is no record to show that you are a professor from our university. That is the authority. You cannot sit down and award professorship to yourself. You must come from a place, exactly, and the people must be able to confirm. That is why if you say you are a graduate of University of Lagos, what anybody needs to do is to go to University of Lagos and check the records. Your name will be there as a graduate of that university. So if you are a professor from a university, that you are a visiting professor in that place, that you're a visiting lecturer in the place, does not mean you are a professor. That's something you need to do before you become a professor. So if for whatever reason you did not fulfill all those requirements for you to be conferred as a professor, you are not a professor. That is the simple thing. But because the guy had some contacts, he was trying to now bamboozle everybody, and they said, okay, show us the record. And he said, oh, I'm a professor from this university. And the university came out to say, look, what this man is parading is a fraud. In fact, the man should be arrested and tried.
We'll get to talk about more of that when we return after this break. Don't go anywhere. Still Journalist Hangout.